If your car is running real rich at all, your tri-power car, and especially if you have an aftermarket cam or low manifold vacuum for whatever reason, you may have to modify your power piston. And the way to know this, at idle, if your car is dripping fuel off the venturi cluster, if you look down through the venturi and can see fuel dripping in this area off the cluster, that generally indicates that the power valve is open. Remember, this is the power valve. If you push that button there, it's open. So if the power piston here is pushing on the power valve at idle, it's going to be dripping and you're going to be running rich, and really you can't live with that sort of situation. You're going to be fouling your plugs, washing down your cylinder walls. You just can't do it. I talked a little about the operation of the power piston before, but when you start your car, vacuum from the manifold is routed up through the carburetor. It ends up going through this little oval shaped hole here, through this runner here, and into this cylinder basically where the power piston is. And it'll, when you get an idle, when you get a vacuum signal, it'll pull the power piston up and off the power valve. If you have low idle or low vacuum, I would say you're going to need about 12 pounds to make this operate correctly. If you have a low vacuum at idle, what you need to do is to modify the spring on this. There's a company that sells a kit with these modified springs, and sells 3 or 4 power valves with springs, and I understand that the spring's a different color. That'd be a good way to go. If you get a hold of me, I can get you to him. The other thing you can do is to remove a couple coils from this spring to make it easier, so there's less resistance. And I usually just take some sort of a tool, these tweezers would be better, and grab the end of the spring there and unwind it. Just unwind 2 or 3 coils. Again, I'd go slow because you can't put them back on. The power pistons, two are different lengths, so if you take one out of another carburetor, that's not a problem. If you have an old Rochester tuber, but make sure they're the same total length. Anyway, just you'd cut this couple coils off. Goodbye. And there you go. You've got a little bit less resistance, so less vacuum. We'll be able to pull this up into the air horn. These are just staked in, so the way to take it out, basically, I like to, while it's still attached here, you can pull the spring down a little bit with your fingers. I put this real carefully in a vise, it's not to pinch it, and then just take a hammer or some tool, a heavy screwdriver. This is attached in the vise, just tap here, it'll pull right out. When you do take it out, as you're restoring your carburetor, make sure, and they're usually, this one's been cleaned up, there's usually carbon on them. You just take some abrasive pad and clean it off, or I glass beat them, but a Scotch-Brite pad also would be good. And then you just want to make sure that it's moving freely up and down the cylinder. Don't oil it. I don't put any lubricant in there. It'll eventually go away, or it'll get sticky, and you'll have more problems than you had to start with.